demo for the mugs, so, the handles. If you want to come a little closer, you can. Okay, so I've got my my mug, my tripod mug, and it's stiff leather hard right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out where I want to put the handle. I'm going to make my seam the front of the mug, and I'm going to put my handle over here. I'm going to show you 2 ways today you can make a handle. The first is use about, you just want to watch this, Ellie, so you know. Or I guess you flushed it, you know. You're going to use about this much clay, and you can squeeze it into a bumpy log. And then I'm going to roll it. And I'm rolling it at an angle. So I'm going to take some of that off. I'm going to put my hands like this and roll it so it's thicker at one side than at the other. Okay, and this feels just a little too big for me. So let me do this. If your roll gets thumpy, stand it up, press it down with your fingers, and keep going. Like that. Okay, now what I can do is I can take a sponge and squeeze out the water, so it's just slightly damp. And I make a W with my fingers, like this. And I'm just going to pull it. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to pull it again. And I'm just trying to get like a nice shape here, like this, for my handle. This feels too thin down here, so I'm going to tear that off. And I'm stretching out the clay. You can also tap it if you'd like, to square up the handle. This handle is going to go like this. Now that's huge, right? That's way too big for the proportion. We want to think about the size of the handle to the size of our mug. But what I can do is use my fettling knife and cut it. If I cut it straight though, my handle's going to stick straight out like that. I want it to have a little bit more of an angle. So I'm going to cut it with the knife towards me, like this. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. And I can tap it with my thumb to make it round like the mug. And I could see how that would look. Okay. Remember that our clay shrinks 12%, so I want to make sure it's big enough to go in. At the bottom, this little extra thing at the bottom, I'm just going to work that off later. Right now I can set it up to dry. This handle's too soft for me to attach to my mug. I want it to be about the same leather hard stage as my mug, so I would set that in front of the fan. Okay, so that's one way. That's just rolling a slab and then using a sponge to pull it. This next way is called pulling a handle. And what you're going to do is you take some clay and you make sort of like a tongue. I don't know how else to, this weird shape here. This might not be enough. I'm going to grip it like this. And this is going to look strange to you, just roll with it. It's a very, very old way of doing this. But you have to take a bucket of water and you get your hands wet. And you're going to use the shape in between your finger and your thumb to pull a handle. It's like milking a cow. So you're going to do this, and gravity is pulling it down. You could also do it right over the sink. You don't have to squeeze really hard because the constant motion keeps pulling it longer and longer. The reason I'm shifting my hands from side to side is because I don't want it to just get one strange shape. I'm trying to even it out as I go. So pulling handles is really common for potters to use, but I found that carrot method works pretty well. And a lot of times when you're learning to pull a handle, you might pull it off if you don't have your hand wet. So you really do need to have, you don't want any friction on the clay because it will just pull it right off. But I see here at the top I have extra clay I'm going to cut off later that I don't really need. You can get a nice thin handle this way too. and it's strong. Okay, so there we go. That's probably good. Now if I wanted to, I could use my fingers. I could make like a cool stripe or two with it like that. And then I'm going to cut this off for now. When you're pulling a handle, the tricky thing is not to get your fingerprints all in it because you don't want to muck it up. I'm going to face the feathery knife towards me, cut it again. I'm going to set it up to dry. And I know this is way bigger than I need, but after it dries, I can come back and cut it again. Okay? And then I can fit it to my mug. I'm going to mark where it goes, and I'm going to score and slip it on. So when you guys get to that part, I will show you that.